And action. Welcome world. We are at the Where Are We podcast. I am here with my special guest host, Reks.
Oh, word.
R-E-K-S. Yes, you are a guest host, a special guest here. You're going to help me go through this whole show together. We're going to talk about a lot of things, my brother. I'm so glad you're here. We have my other brother right here. It's DJ Erkel filling in for our boy Night.Wave. Shout out DJ Erkel for coming through last minute.
Legend.
I like that.
Fun fact, these guys used to have gym together.
Facts.
They had all the gyms. Gym subs, gym PE, Jimmy from fucking Brook Street that sold them weed before. Jimmy Liquors, Jimmy Babysitters, Jimmy Patalitos. All the Jimmys, except the ones we don't want on us.
Jimmy's what they call it. It's Jimmy. Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, y'all know how the first 5 minutes goes. We gonna roll up, get your drinks, grab your chick, put your TV on, watch us do this for 5 minutes because we're gonna get into it. And fucking go.
Oh, wow.
So, Reks, this is how I start the show.
Yeah.
What's your relationship to vices to get you started into the mood or vibe of what you're creating?
Well, I'm far removed now, but
Yes,
it used to be a room full of the homies, a bunch of people in the room pouring up. I was a big whiskey drinker. Before the whiskey, it was Hennessy.
Yes.
A lot of Hennessy.
That's
And
a lot.
in the poorer days, it was like the E&J, Easy Jesus.
The Lawrence starter kit.
Yeah, exactly. So we started off with that. My first drink, though, was the weirdest first drink. It was Goldschlager.
Oh, you a thug.
I don't
Man,
even
you a
know
thug.
what that was about. Like, I just saw the sprinkles
little sprinkle
dropping,
glow,
and
yeah.
I was like, yo, that kind of
Yeah.
looks fire. Let me get
gold
that
flakes.
right there. That was terrible choice. That was a terrible choice. Yo, Goldschlager.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
Bad idea.
That's the first time I ever got really fucked up with a Goldschlager, actually.
Sweet drinks. Anytime you drink those sweet drinks, I got a story for that.
Yeah, go ahead. You can give it to us.
All right. We gonna set it off with
Yeah.
with drunken Denmark story.
Yeah. We gonna start off with all the ratchet shit, and we're gonna end it with all the growth.
Nicest
You know what
people
I mean?
in Denmark, by the way. But like, yo, drunkest story. My drunkest story is I battled J-Ro of the Alcoholics.
Ooh.
I was like, listen, you ain't an alcoholic. I tested his whole representation of the crew that he was in,
That's wild.
and he put me in a body bag. He put me in a straight body bag in Denmark. I woke up. I didn't have no ID, no bag, no nothing. I was supposed to be in London.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Did you get there to London?
I
Eventually,
did.
or-
I did.
Did you find your shit?
I went to the embassy. No, I never got that stuff back.
Oh wow.
That therein lies all the beats that I made over the course of my little 3-year episodes of like making beats. They all ended up in that bag, and someone's like, releasing them right now.
Produced by Drunk Reks.
Yeah.
Damn, son. Those are the biggest hits for me. It's like when you do a vice and then you lose something important. It's like fuck, cause you have no like understanding of where the shit is. Like honestly, I tell this story all the time. I came home with a toaster, like a waffle maker in my pocket from a drunk night.
He said,
I had people's mail. I had weed. I had the waffle maker. I had fucking pills. I had IDs. I don't know what the hell happened, bro.
He said
Honestly.
everything.
And I always have I got the wildest episodes I end up in
Yeah.
on what is that, Andover and Broadway, South
Yep.
Lawrence. Like I ended up by the train right there. I woke up and I was surrounded by like mad police officers, and I'm like on the train track, bro.
Bro, we used to.
Oh, because
I'm not gonna talk about
they
them
thought
train
you were
tracks.
gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, of course. But like, yo, I fell asleep in the middle of the street.
That's fucking crazy.
Wow.
That's happened to me.
That's
before.
very early on, bro. Like really, really wild stories. Like,
Wow, man.
like yo, the wildness with me with drinking.
That's
Wow.
so wild.
And we
dog.
started off savage, yeah. And so like now I want y'all to start your jokes.
I mean, I can't start no jokes. I was there with you. What you talking about, cuz?
know.
What you talking
I
about?
know it was wild.
Now
I
you-
mean, y'all talking about Goldschlager. I used to drink MD 2020. Talk about it.
Oh man,
Oh, my
MD
God.
2020.
Bro, I used to drink.
that-
I used to drink Cisco.
Hold on.
And I
Yo,
pulled
I
M
can't.
Dog 2020 out of the bins. Like you didn't even get that in like inside the cooler. You probably had to just go in the bin and pick it out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
What about private stock?
Nah.
I drank OE. I drank
St. Odds.
Yeah, St. Ives OE. Like
I mean,
Yeah, I drank
Night
St.
Train.
Ives
Night
before.
Train was another one.
Night Train was another one.
I
Was a
didn't
hood
drink,
one.
I didn't drink Night Train.
Night Train was another hood one. And like
Boons.
when Hypnotic came out, that was
Yep.
another hood one.
That was another hood one.
Everybody was
Heavy.
drinking that.
In
shit.
Florida, there was no 40s though. There's no 40s.
Wild.
Why?
I don't know if it's all of Florida, but I know like where we was in like Miramar, Hollywood, right next to Miami for a lot of years.
Nah,
Like,
they have
no 40s,
I
bro.
wonder why though.
No such thing as 40s, fam.
I wonder why.
See, I lived in Orlando, and we always got 40s.
You had 40s in Orlando?
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, we have 40s.
In the south part of you would never get that down there.
That's weird. I wonder why. I wonder what
I have no
thing
idea
is.
what that's all about.
They sell
I didn't do
liquor,
the science.
obviously.
I just was drinking 22s,
I ain't mad at you.
sipping a lot of 22s. I made that whole straight no chase on 22s of Becks and the big handle of Hennessy static, and I would just go to the joint with the Hennessy like
He said the
the
Becks.
handle to the face, just us two. We used to go in.
Bro, them Becks is hard.
Oh yeah.
They hit you. One.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
That was my favorite one, the Becks.
I can't do that one. Nope.
Here's a question. Why do you think you drank so much?
Socially awkward, like, you know what I'm saying, real keeping it a buck. Like I was just like, it was my vice that I went to like, you know, really feel comfortable in environments around people, because I went to smoking, but I had a bad hit. And if you ever had like a bad hit, your first hit, then like it's probably
It's like traumatizing.
exactly.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
it was, the smoking just wasn't my wave. So I did all the like, you know, the not so cool like
Stuff.
vices. You know what I'm saying? I was a drinker, and I was a cigarette smoker.
I mean, I could dig that.
And I didn't even smoke like Newports. I smoked like Parliaments.
Oh, man.
I smoked like Parliaments every time I came around. People was like, "Yo, what the hell is that?"
Did you smoke it so no one would ask you for one?
I think partially.
Yeah, because
But now I thought they just looked cool, but they was like, them joints was like
Harsh.
light. Now they were light.
Oh, you talking about the apartment?
Newport had
Oh,
everything
nah,
in it,
Newports
like
were harsh.
mouse, like fecal matter and like
Yeah, they had everything.
pieces of like little hairs. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking. Yo, smoke. Yeah, do your thing. You
Bro.
know my wife.
Nah, I know.
Now I sit right next to my wife
Alright,
every
cool,
day.
cool,
She
cool.
like,
Sure.
she be going off.
No, so I was asking about like what made you like want to do that, because I'm trying to understand why people like fall in love with these things and choose them as coping skills, or like you said, you were socially awkward, so it made you socially better in your eyes when you were drinking. I always wonder like what other options did we have at the time, right? Did you have other options?
My environment was predicated on that, because
Right,
like
right.
in my household, that's what people did. Like there was like other things that like led to get, because I was around, you know, coke, everything else,
Right,
like
right.
in the home, but like that was the one that I gravitated towards and felt comfortable doing, you know. But like it was in the home, it was around me, and everybody in my family like were like heavy drinkers. To this day, like a lot of my family members are still heavy drinkers. Me, I'm only like
We smoke
just less than 2 years removed from being like, you know, sober, like completely sober. I smoke a little CBD, you know, I smoke a little CBD here. Appreciate that. Yeah, but like just yeah, it was in the household. So a lot of the personal trauma in the household and things that I was around, I think kind of predicated around that.
Did you grow up in a household with both parents?
I mean, my the father that I know, Trevor Washington Blythe, who came from Kingston and like just came into the household and took over my mom's, me and my siblings, and took care of us like we were his own. He's the only father I've ever known. So like, as yeah, of course, like big up to Shiva.
Hell yeah, big
Shiva,
up.
Shiva is that. Nah, Shiva is that guy. So like big respect to him for like
dope,
you
man.
know, stepping into the household. But no, my father died when I was super young, AIDS complications, and it was crazy because like I seen a lot of family members dying of those complications around the same time. So it was very early on that I had this connection to that like sickness and whatnot.
Okay, so it was just you in the house, or you had siblings, right?
I had my sisters. I had 2 sisters, and what's wild is that my mom's brought around my brother. I never say my half brother. My brother Jordan lives
Jordan,
right up.
shout out
he lives
Jordan,
yo, and he always gives you props. So
Yeah,
he
I
always
love
shout you out all the time, man. Mad love for you, bro.
love.
But my bro, he like he came in our life like it was weird because my mom's and his mom's both had a relationship with our father. And they was homies, but it was like a weird little situation with fixation for this man, right? So like he fell out the picture. My mom's and his mom's made sure that we was close regardless. We grew up together, and I've only known him as my brother like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it
dope.
was beautiful for her to bring him around, my mom to bring him.
So
around
this
him.
is the father from Kingston's son?
Nah,
This is the one that
this
passed
my,
away?
Like when I say, my father, my bloodline. So Jordan is my bloodline.
Wow, that's gang.
Yeah. And we grew up together until like I don't know if y'all heard this story of the dude who was a mailman in Andover and got murdered by a dude in Andover. Like he stepped on his lawn and like
wow.
it was a while back,
Yeah.
but it's a long story. Like anyways, regardless, that was his stepfather. And when that situation occurred, they moved out of Lawrence, moved to Baltimore.
So Jordan's from Lawrence.
Jordan's from
That's where he-
Lawrence.
that's where he
bro.
started- that's where he-
Lawrence.
that-
No
that
wonder.
Don't get it
was
twisted.
fun.
Jordan's
Yo,
from
but
here,
yo, you know what it is about Lawrence people though? Anywhere you fucking go, bro, you meet someone from Lawrence, they treat you like fucking family.
Facts.
If it's not
Facts.
in Lawrence, I'm saying.
Nah,
Like
facts.
if you're in Lawrence, like fuck you, then I'm giving you a ride. But you see a nigga in New York, manito.
Nah,
you need?
I'm not buying that one though, cause like yo,
Nah, depends.
I
Depends
was
who it
a
is.
little surprised too, cause I went to the Dunkin' Donuts yesterday and like it was 4 different instances of people just showing me super love. Like, nah, you were here first, go. Like it wasn't really Lawrence.
I
to
think
me.
that's an energy thing though.
It wasn't what I was used to growing up. But like, yo,
the energy in Lawrence is
different.
definitely changing.
It's
bro.
different.
no, it was kind of
And we're gonna
beautiful.
get- and
It
we're
was
gonna
kind
get
of
there.
beautiful, but that threw me off.
And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
You know
for
what
sure.
it is? We ain't used to it. So when we
Yo.
see it, it's like yo, wait a minute, for real?
It was dope.
Yeah.
Nah, like, and I was driving up, and like, the homie was like, nah, go, you good. He gave me
Things
the
have-
lights.
yeah.
I was like, yo,
Things have changed in
Nah,
Lawrence.
things are
man.
changing. Things
They're
are changing.
changing, and we're gonna get to that. I'm trying to get to the root of it so we can see how much he's grown, and we're gonna see how much Lawrence has grown too. Because to me, it's like, yo, for me, he's a pioneer. He's one of the pioneers of Lawrence. You guys,
There's
you
no-
guys might not see it like
listen,
that.
nah.
But I see him as a pioneer.
As a
in Lawrence,
DJ,
right?
as a DJ, I'm a fan first, and that's a fact. There's no question about that. Before him, I can only say there was really like Scientific. There was Crumb Snatcher. There was like
Is he
Dramatic.
from Lawrence, Crumb Snatcher? I
Well,
don't think so.
Nah, he's
not born, but he's
not born,
Lawrence
but
Fabric.
he's Lawrence.
He's Lawrence Fabric.
Oh
Lawrence
man,
Fabric.
he's
Pause.
Facts.
You definitely the one to get your crumbs taken.
Yeah.
Don't snatch no one's crumbs.
Man, come on. He's thinking about breakfast right now. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
That's that Irish Mexican blood.
Yo, big respect to Crumb Snatch and,
Facts.
and Scientific.
And then you had. I'm trying to think of who else was back then.
Shout out the Wolves.
Yeah, the Wolves. The Wolves was major. Term came out around them.
Term's always
early
on top.
in that time.
Term's a pioneer in my eyes too.
Right after you. I mean, no, I'm not disrespecting. I'm saying Term was after.
After Reks.
At the end of the day,
See,
No,
like,
I'm
a lot
saying
of times they be like
it's-
Scientific, Chrome, me,
And Term.
Yep.
and then like Sonic was in the mix.
Sonic was in the mix,
well,
in and
of
out.
course.
Yep.
Shout out Sonic.
What I
Facts.
will say about this, is Sonic didn't get his fair shot. Like I always say this
1,000.
wherever I go, right?
Everyone
Because
says
Sonic
that.
before
Everybody
any
says
of
that,
us,
bro.
before any of us could have really took off, I thought Sonic was the one.
Yeah.
I really did, cause like he was a young kid who was barring up. He could bar up with any of the young homies.
Nah, that's listen.
You know?
I think
and he's still that
I
nasty,
think he can
but
still
like
do it
he was
now.
that. No, he's
No,
that
no,
nasty
he
now.
still can.
No,
But
I'm
he
saying
was
if he wants to
always that
blow up
nasty.
and do the thing, I think he could still do it now if he wanted to. That's how nasty he
You
is.
said?
Hoffa?
Where does Hoffa follow?
Hoffa.
I don't
Fall
know
under.
what you mean.
Like you said.
What do you mean?
Under.
What
so
about
so
Hoffa?
so Hoffa is
Hoffa came
way,
out,
Nah,
like,
he's
he
way
came out in the
behind.
mix
He's
of
way
that, but
behind.
I
He's
mean-
way behind.
But-
He's
No. But you mean behind like how? Like how?
he's behind.
I don't really know Hoffa's story.
Alright.
But I felt the presence. Right?
I mean from my
Hoffa was. Go ahead.
no go ahead.
But Hoffa was definitely like right around our time, a little later. But like I do remember the hustle. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? More than
yeah.
anything, and that kind of invigorated me when it was like what I saw from the approach to how to put out the music. That
Hoffa
was a
was doing
learning.
that.
That was a learning moment for me because I started off on a label, independent. You know, the cypher circuit. Coming from college, coming back to Massachusetts, I was in the cypher circles. Lou Armstrong,
Yep.
you know, 7LS Terry,
Shout out
like
Lou.
all like a bit of both, like the streets and the backpacking,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know,
The Mr. List and
it
all
was a
that,
bit
yeah.
of both. Like I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts, but I came up in the underground scene
Right.
in Boston, so
Right.
you know, like I got my start with a lot of different vibrations,
And that's a
obviously.
big reason why a lot of people don't know a lot of these other rappers, right? Because the thing is, Lawrence was grown on this reggae, dancehall, reggaeton.
Reggaeton,
facts.
exactly,
And so the thing is, I didn't know about Reks. Honestly, I didn't know about Reks until I met him, right? And when I met him, it was like, oh shit, this is who you are. Like the way I saw everybody else treat him, I was like, oh, this is who you are. You know, I didn't know who I was hanging out with. I just went to his, I think it was your sister's house in the SPs. Yeah, man, and we just went and chilled, and they fed us, and I think we shot like a video for you or something, and I don't know what the hell we did.
Listen,
but
I come from Barcelos, Zares, like all,
Barcelos.
everything.
Listen, listen,
everything.
yeah, wow.
I don't even say, you know what I'm saying? I say the mullahs, man. I don't even like, you know what I'm saying? Like
How about strawberries? Remember strawberries?
yeah, strawberries, yeah.
All my
That's
records
where
came from
I
there.
would see Hoffa's men like hustling
so
on
nah,
the
so
tapes
nah,
right in
right?
front of
Even?
strawberries. Yeah.
Yo, so peep. This is what Hoffa brought from our area. Like he brought the hustle. He brought the trunk distribution. You know what I mean? He brought the whole street hustle. He brought the go out to the street and sell them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He masterminded the whole out the trunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that was a
He
major
did.
thing that we
he's still doing it. He's still selling
this
CDs.
was 1990.
This was
bro.
like
Even,
it's like
yeah, like 94,
late
95,
late
95,
90s.
96,
Yeah.
95,
Bro,
96.
he's still selling CDs.
I
So-
took that aesthetic to Boston, but like go ahead.
So facts is, and this is just me doing my homework, you know, back then, he literally went platinum out the trunk. Like you got to understand what we're saying right here. Platinum out the trunk, fam. That's never happened. He got signed more or less because of that.
See, there's things you don't know. I don't know this. That's gang. You know what I do know though? Hoffa's son is an incredible rapper, and he's a Christian.
Word?
He's a Christian rapper.
what's his son's name?
His son's name is. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
that's-
I want to
that's
know.
dope.
I want to know. I want to
He
know.
was one of the. He was one of. I think he goes by Otto actually. His He was one of. He used to come to open mics at Movement City. And like I can see his vibe, like he's looking for himself, trying to find it.
Okay.
And then
Yep.
he found God, and all of a sudden it's just working for him now. The way he envisioned it, you know,
Nah,
it's pretty dope.
That's how it works, though.
I have a question.
Shoot.
This for both of you guys. What was your first thing that brought you into hip hop? Like, was it a person? Was it a certain place that you went to? Was it a certain song you heard? Like, what was like the first thing that brought you into this hip hop music?
Okay.
Go. Oh, yeah.
Nah, go ahead.
So like for me, like I could remember my moms and my aunts having records, like, you know, the old records to spin. But what really like drew me in was going to, I believe it was Jackson Street? What's the street?
Right.
Common and
Common and
Haverhill.
Jackson. Common and Haverhill.
That's Jackson Street, right? Haverhill Street.
Nah, that's
Yeah,
by Lawrence
Haverhill
High.
Street. Haverhill Street.
No, the other side. So like if you're like headed towards the hill, to Prospect Hill,
Yup.
it's the main road before you get to
East Haverhill Street.
where the common park is,
Yes.
right? The other
Oh,
side
so
of the
Jackson-
common
oh,
park.
it's Jackson and
right?
Haverhill, yeah.
So
Jackson.
Jackson Haverhill, right. The next street over, there used to be this little like movie theater. There was a small.
Yes,
you remember
yes,
the movie
yes,
theater?
yeah,
There
behind-
was a
behind the
small
Oliver.
little movie
Yeah.
theater,
Behind the
and
Oliver.
when I went there, they were playing Beat Street Breaking. They were showing all the
wow,
old school
you lived in the
films.
good time.
Yeah,
You lived
yeah,
I
in the
like
good
yo.
time, dog.
I went with my cousins. We went there. We saw those joints, and I saw the Christmas rap for the first time. Kumo D,
when he popped
and
out
I
the
lost
fucking-
my mind.
The
Like when I
Dougie
saw
Fresh
that.
when he popped out the fucking thing in the
So,
dark.
listen, I always tell this story about cool, like, you know, hearing Kumo D do the Christmas rap, and then I went to the Leonard School where I went to school, my grade school, and they had this little makeshift stage in the back of the school.
I know what
right?
you talk about.
I used to stand on that joint and spit that rhyme word for word till I got called out by a female. She was like, yo, a little girl, she was like, that's not your rhyme.
Oh.
And that set it off for me.
Do you remember her name to shout her out?
Nah, but I remember
her cash app right
I remember
here.
my first rhyme was called Pumas. Like, I didn't even like wear Pumas, but I called
Was it manifesting?
Nah, I did a joint called Pumas because, like, you know, Run DMC
Run DMC
had Adidas, so I couldn't do it. Like, I just did exactly what
opposite.
the only thing that made sense for me.
What
so
about
I did
you?
A song called Pumas.
What about you, Erkel? Who's the first person or first like hip hop inspiration that made you think about even DJing? You know what I mean? Or even think about rapping? I know you rap too.
So, I mean, you know that. Not everybody else know that, bro. Don't go saying too much, bro. Come on,
Did
man.
you know that?
Oh, nah, he know that. He
Oh,
know that. He
Yo,
might not remember,
yo.
but he know it.
Oh, he knows, but he don't remember.
I know. This is what I remember.
Go ahead.
Let's
I
hear
remember
it.
Chief.
Yep.
Rhyming.
Of course you did.
Ooh, okay.
All right, so
See,
like,
I can go back. I can go.
We can
further,
go do this. Yeah.
But before we do that, right? Matter of fact, that might have been. Wow.
I'll go back there and just say it right there.
Wow. Epiphany, bro. Listen. That was when it was. Yo, like for real, where are we, yo?
Where
like,
the fuck are we? We're in
Bro.
Stockbridge,
yeah.
I
Just
see
riding through the
I see
fucking-
my mailman.
chilling. Look,
Yo.
I see him too. Donald. You ain't looking.
Nah, his name definitely ain't Donald.
Yeah, it's Mike.
Nah,
Yo.
Travis.
Travis.
Oh, okay. Is that what you're
Hey,
making
yo,
up?
Travis.
You're making it up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nah, go.
Yo, so Pete, right? I'm gonna go back like 95, 94, right? We used to do these this is what brought me to hip hop. My brother-in-law used to DJ Clash. I used to just see him rock parties. He's like one of the original out here. Crumb Snatcher DJ when he first started. Scientific's DJ when he first started.
Wow, that's crazy.
I used to see this like every morning, so I used to just fathom my mind on what he was doing. So it was crazy to me. Anytime I used to be able to get out my crib, I used to go to my sister's house. She had the pit bulls, you know, she had everything cool. She had the music.
Pit bulls.
And then we used to have the you remember Starsky?
She had the wow wows.
Yo, listen, they used to have dances. Like remember the dancers on the Living Color. We used to really have them out here.
Yeah.
There was two brothers, Starsky. I forgot his other brother's name. Yo, he gonna
Was it
kill me if
Hutch?
you hear this. Nah, it ain't Hutch.
Nah, just go.
Dutch.
Nah,
Just go past it.
so they used to dance for all the rappers. My original reason for starting this, Crumb, one day, my bad, Scientific was rapping in the closet in my sister's crib.
Why?
Because it was, you gotta understand, this is the KRS-One days. You used to come in and just rap, spit bars and just.
There was a mic in the booth.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he in the closet?
Because DJ Clash, bro. I just
Closet.
told you that DJ
Right,
Clash
right.
was their DJ.
Right,
so
right.
Clash used to bring them in, used to have them spit they bars, record them on a reel to reel. You know what I mean? Record them, then put it on a cassette tape. Word. Then Crumb used to come after. He used to set it up, which was crazy. Rest in peace, Clash. But he used to bring them after, which was Crumb after, and Crumb would be like, "Yo, Scientific was just here. He just laid some shit down." Crumb was like, "Word? All right, hold on." That was before his name was Crumb Snatcher.
Right.
You feel me? So,
What was his name before?
shit.
Shit.
Damn, you.
Nah, just go.
Where are we? But they brought me out to the boys club, and then after that, that was like 4 years later. Young black teenagers came out to Lawrence High School. That was when we was doing all that stuff in the high school, and we was doing the plays, and we was doing all the talent shows. And back then, that's when I was rapping. Cause you performed, and then it ended up being me, you, and Kent. Shout to my brother Kent out of South Carolina.
Yep.
So that was me, you, and Kent.
North.
Yeah, my fault.
You good?
So that was us three. And then, ironically, I just turned into a DJ. But I mean,
I'm thinking of
I make music. I'm just saying.
Sinister too. Like
Oh yeah, Sinister.
see,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
another one that I
Yo,
like
matter of fact-
that did rhymes with.
Matter of fact, oh my God, Short Fuse
Fuse.
was
Droga,
13.
Socorro.
Yo,
Listen,
13 years old. 13 years old. Back in '94, dropping beats
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh,
He had-
younger.
Oh, even younger. Yeah,
younger.
But at 13, he had a catalog as at least 1,000.
Yeah, because he was
easy.
At
he
nine-
had, he had
at nine-
placement at 9.
yeah, 9,
Yeah,
he
9-year-old.
placed
He
the
has
first
a play.
Facts.
Little
Short fuse.
What was it? Little Miguel or something.
Little yeah, something
Meg-
like that.
So like
Miguelito.
Little Miguel.
Yup,
Miguelito.
yup. Crazy. Crazy.
That's in Spanish. It's Miguelito.
So yeah, so long story short, that's what we used to do. We used to rap over there in the high school.
In the dungeons, there was a lot of like dope MCs like coming up in Lawrence, and dope just art in general. So like even before I was a rapper, I was breakdancing.
Me too.
You know, so I
I love breakdancing.
we had a crew, Funktown Connection, FTC.
Okay.
I remember seeing that.
Yo, we was
FCC.
Yeah, it's the truth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't do that. Now it was more. I was popping a lock and I had a backspin. I had a wicked backspin.
Okay.
I would spin nonstop.
Damn,
and
that's
I had
crazy.
no head spin, no windmills, nothing.
Top rock.
But
I used to break.
I'll
break too.
backspin the hell out of a backspin, fam. Like,
I used to
get busy with the.
I used to break dance, and I was known for the floor rock. I didn't know how.
Facts.
I did not know how to do any power moves except a 1990.
That was it.
I used to crip walk.
Oh man.
Oh man.
No, I'm not saying like I was crip. That's what I used to do. You know
What city you from?
Was originally from Mexico, but you know.
What city are you from in Massachusetts?
I'm from Reading.
Where? Okay, there it is.
Yeah, Reading. That's where I'm from.
That's why you would say that you crip walk
Where are we,
in
please?
Reading safely.
Yo, what?
I guess.
Well, we're on the topic of like the city, and like, you know, there's a lot of like, and it's changing. Like right now, I heard you guys talking like you guys were brothers. Like, I want to understand like how important is bonds with you. You know, for like to have a brotherhood with people. Like, is it more? Are you a more business person, or are you a more like, nah, I need a connection with this person?
Are you talking about in art, or are you talking
in
about
general,
in general?
as a
In
person?
general.
Yeah, but in this podcast, I know I bring artists on, but I really want to get to know the person is like that's behind Reks. You know what I mean?
So I mean, I'm an energy person. A lot of people are talking vibrations these days, but everything that I am on is mind, body, and spiritually related. So I don't really have to personally have a bond with somebody, like a brotherhood, so much. Like I just feed off of people's energy. And I don't match energy. Like a lot of people talk about matching energy. I don't do that. I'm gonna like, you know, digress away from anything that's like not vibrations akin to like what I want to be, which is a higher self, king. Like I call my beloved because I believe that's who we are. But like if you carry yourself otherwise, then I just keep it moving. I digress.
Heavy.
I like that.
Heavy.
Hell yeah.
That's heavy.
You know, just hearing you speak, I remember like how I used to talk, and now I say king so much because of you. You know, like,
love that.
because I respect everybody as a king and a queen. You know,
I love that.
And like that perspective you gave me, I'm just like, wow, like saying this to other people has changed just the way I'm thinking. You know, like I'm even thinking positive because I'm changing the way I'm talking. And I thank you for that, man.
I respect it.
And that's
bro.
just one gem.
I'm glad you do that. And I mean, my young ones, my Zeke's about to be 20, and then Josiah's just turned 13. So like
beast
they
making
carry
beats, bro.
themselves with their head held high because they know who they are. Like a lot of my traumas, I had to break, you know, generational cycles in our family coming up in Newberry Street, just knowing what was going around in the environment I grew up in. The toxicity in my household, and then when I went outside of my household, Newberry and Summer Street. If anybody knows Newberry and Summer Street, you know what I come from.
Come on,
you
dog.
know
Whoa.
exactly what
Whoa,
I
whoa.
come from.
Let's-
Existence of what I came up in
Let's-
is like what I had to overcome.
Let's not let out that you was probably one of the only black families in Lawrence.
Oh, listen,
Oof.
like, well, in that area,
Yeah, and that-
if you talk about like, so there was a black migration into Lawrence, and my grandparents were part of that. My grandmother comes from South Carolina. My grandfather comes from Augusta, Georgia. It's like just like Hispaniola, just like Dominican Republic and Haiti, the division of the river. You have the same thing, kind of like this bridge and this river that kind of breaks up South Carolina and Augusta, Georgia. So. Very parallel to that same situation. That's how my grandparents met. My grandfather was a truck driver who went into South Carolina to drop off like whatever his loads that he was dropping off, and then he, you know, got down with my grandmother. They moved up, migration north. Just like a lot of people in the black families either came from North Carolina, not North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, or they came from VA.
Yep.
My father's from Petersburg, Virginia. So like a lot of the families that would be surrounding like Juniper Street. Like the Juniper Street area and all that whole section was like all the black families, my family.
A little bit past Park. That was all y'all.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we was. Like, they like Lawrence was kind of like broken up.
It was
into pockets.
segregated, yeah.
But it was never really supposed to be a it was never really supposed to be a city where people lived anyway, right? It was supposed to be
a working city.
right?
Exactly.
So like individuals came out there, came from
Now it's a hustle city.
True immigration. I think it was a hustle city then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? They
Yeah.
coming up in the textile mills and all that joint. They was really hustling. Like
Yeah,
they
it was. I mean, they had 13-year-olds
No,
working in
and
the
that
mills.
little ones,
listen,
right?
and
Like
don't get
little
me-
ones
don't
working
get-
inside
don't
the
get me
joint.
wrong.
That was crazy.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know I said hustle, but like there's so many hustles going on in the city, so many different ones. I wasn't just talking about like drugs. Drugs is definitely involved, but what I'm talking about is more like everyone has a hustle mentality now. Before the mentality was like work. Now it's like hustle. You know what I mean? Because when you hustle it like you finesse your way on how to get the bag. You know what I mean? Or how to get your goal, or how to get to the next day. You know what I mean?
You're right.
That's real.
You're right. And I'm a testament to that because, I mean, I grew up around a lot of drug dealers and stuff like that, but I never took that route. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all sold a little bit of weed here and there, you know what I mean? But
Allegedly,
yeah, right. Where are we, bro? Stop.
Sorry.
Listen, nah. So, we all did our hustle, but now I took that to the DJ wise. I went to malls. I started doing barbecues. I started doing pool parties. I started doing grand openings for barbershops, grand openings for stores, grand openings for like crazy
so
things.
you got free food, free clothes, free haircuts. That's what it sounds like.
Where would you get your records from?
The records, Strawberries.
Hello.
Heavy.
There was a record shop that
Nothing,
Peter used to take me in Revere. Right? Was it Revere?
Nah. I used to go to New York.
Nah, there's a record shop that was in somewhere else in Massachusetts. He used to take me. It was a Lynn.
Nah, come
Nah,
on,
there
shout
was
out.
Lowell.
Nah,
There was
Playground Records.
Playground Records was the
Playground
original-
Records.
original.
Playground Records.
That was what it's
Playground
called?
Records, Lenny, Essex Street. Yeah, Playground
shout out to
Records.
Lenny.
Shout out to
Essex
Lenny, yo.
Street.
Yeah,
Essex
fam.
Street.
We're talking about.
I wasn't
Nah.
into it yet.
But
so.
that was early 90s. That
Yeah,
was
I was a baby. I was a
early
baby.
90s.
That's
That
where
was
I
like
got.
94.
That's where I got vinyl, and I didn't had no record player. Like I just had to get Times Up, OC,
Yeah.
Buck Wild.
Oh, you bought them
like, all the-
anyways? Fire.
Oh, of
I
course.
bought
of course.
Madism over there. My first record, Madism.
Word. Yeah, my son has a whole ill record collection. He doesn't have a record player of his own yet. He just has his collection. When he gets the
When he goes overseas with you, make sure you guys go crate digging over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Call,
Nah, y'all gotta go to New York, bro. Rock and
Yeah.
Soul, you gotta go to. I don't know if B Street's still open. I haven't been there in years. I don't know if
My son is digging out there already because
okay.
he's in Jersey. He's in
Ah,
college
say
in
less.
Fire,
Bayonne.
fire,
So
bless.
like
Say less.
he be out in New York all the time. So like
Yeah,
shout
yeah,
out
he
to
good.
our site. Follow him. See what he on because he's nice with the
Yeah,
beats.
man, he's nice. He's
He's
nice.
nice with the beats, man.
I mixed his first album.
And he
He's
rhyme,
nice.
he rhyme too. Like,
Yeah.
but like he really just
He
focused
got a
on the
good
beats
ear.
right
He
now.
got a good ear.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's dope.
So I want to get into like this new Reks. You know what I mean? A lot of people are asking like, there's an upside and a downside. Some people like I know how I felt when I went through a breakthrough and people thought I was crazy because I tell everyone I'm loving them and call them king and queen now. They're like, why are you? And I say peace to everybody. Like, why are you telling me peace, bro? Like, are you leaving? I'm like, no, bro. Like, this is peace as in like like tranquility. Like, chill. I love
absolutely.
you. So this new you with and I hate to say the new you because it's just a better you, or like or a better you. You know what I mean? A better
What I like
version
to
of
say
you.
is like it's the higher version of me. Like
Yeah.
because the reality is like we all stuck with our ego. Like our ego gonna remain, and I think the difference with me and people that no longer associate themselves with me is that they prefer the older version of me that was the ego version of me, where I moved around in this environment, caught up in my ego, and projecting that ego on other people, and that kind of like got me in a lot of rooms, and it allowed me to like prosper in rooms, but prosper in a way that was like counterproductive to like my healing and my health as an individual, and so I was always there for my children, but I wasn't there for my children because I wasn't being the example I wanted to be that I feel I am becoming. Like because I'm forever evolving. Right, to be a higher version. And once I suppressed the ego, fam, it became the higher version of me and recognized like God knowledge of self. Like a lot of what, 5% of God's in the earth, like a lot of the stuff that Clarence 13X was bringing to the neighborhood. And if you listen to hip hop, then you must know that like a lot of that language is soaked and immersed in Clarence 13X and the 5% of the nation. But I don't profess to be a guy who does the mathematics because I study comedic spirituality. My thing is a vibration based on absolute math. It definitely has to do with math. It absolutely has to do with science. It's just what our ancestors left us from day one. We just like were not tapped in. I was cutting it off. I was forgetting who I am until I started to remember who I am. And now because of who I am, that ego is suppressed.
Yeah.
I
love that ego part because I tell a lot of people have to understand the ego is real and you need to eliminate it. And the other day my boy was asking me about shrooms and I go, listen, these things are ego deaths if you take them the right way, but there's other ways to get there, and I use you as an example all the time. Like, yo, my boy Reks, you'll see when he walks in the room, he's floating. He doesn't even do none of that shit. So I know it's possible, you know what I mean? But when you do the shrooms and the DMT, you're taking a shortcut, and because you took the shortcut, you missed the journey. So you're like, you don't know what to do, you know what I mean? And I know exactly how that feels, and it sucks. So, but I'm getting there.
But it's okay.
You know what I mean? It is okay. That happened to me for a reason, to understand, like, oh shit, I'm supposed to wake the fuck up now because he tried to wake me up, and now I had to do a substance to do it. And look at me, I'm all fucking like nuts about it. But I'm growing so much, and I fucking love it. You know what I mean?
I seen your transition, and I feel like our transition was kind of like parallel at the time, and like yours was for the way you went about it, and like there's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. Like if that's what works to get you there, then like I feel that's a natural approach to doing it and a helpful one. Like the vices, why they call the drink is spirit, and why I don't want to subject myself to that, because I was like going on IG, for those who don't know, and I was reading from spiritual books and different books. Like I had this grand rising ritual that I was doing where I'm reading the Tao, I'm reading the Pertim Heru, which is the comedic spirituality book, and then I was reading many call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead, right? But I was reading the Upanishads and all these different books, and then like the night would come, and then I would start drinking, and I wake up and kind of like do this revolving cycle of like me being in my like light and in my dark, but that was still me attempting to suppress my ego and not recognizing who I was as an individual. So I don't have no judgment for where people are in their personal like journey, wherever your journey is going. That's beautiful, and like you should allow people to be where they are and not be judgmental about it. So like I was uncomfortable when I was my ego self, like being in the room with people, because I was really projecting and reflecting my ego onto other people. And when I started to suppress that, I could recognize like and be comfortable in the room with anybody because I know who I am.
I like that.
Heavy.
I like that. I knew bringing you on was gonna have an effect, especially on me. Like me, every time I think about my journey, you're always included into it, and
appreciate that.
But every single time I start thinking about my journey, and I'm like, oh shit, it started with Reks, and I'm like, no, but it actually didn't start with Reks. It started way before, when like I met Pito, or when I met someone before that's connected to that story, like it's just all these people are connected to my journey, and it's a reason why we're all in this fucking room right now.
Facts.
Because I know him from a long time ago in one era, I know you from one era, I know you from one era. We're all in this room for a fucking reason. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like I love that perspective. I've never had that perspective before. I've always like, oh, why? It's your fault. And then I started looking in the mirror and like, oh shit, nigga, it's actually your fault. You're letting this happen to you, Melix. It's your fault.
Absolutely. A lot of my early music like had me pointing my finger at my father for a lot of things that were going on. But I had to step out of my own way. Like exactly what you're saying. Like it's really like once you can take a strong look at yourself in the mirror and meditation and practice samatawi, which is like the original form of yoga. Like when I get down and I sit down and I take like a hard look inner, like I attempt to understand. Like that's what we should be doing: understanding, overstanding, and understanding. You can't just understand something. You gotta go within, because it's mind, body, and soul, or mind, body, and spirit, right? So like once I started looking in inward, that's when like I started to be able to see better.
Yeah, I that I can totally agree on. Once you start looking inward, the outward becomes so much clear.
Facts.
Right? And in this in the same journey, right? We're talking about journeys. My guy right here, Erkel, he's going through a journey himself, and to see growth in such a small amount of time from like when he wanted to do the change, to like how the change is happening, like he's fucking doing strides. You know what I mean? This man is like a great example of like anybody can fucking like look within and find the true way of how you want to live, because as soon as you realize you don't have control of anything, you have to just go with the flow. You're gonna fucking start swimming, because it's just like water. If you're doing this, you're gonna drown. But if you just lay down like this and let the water take you, it's beautiful. You get to see the sky. The fucking dolphins go, yo, what up, my nigga?
And it ain't all kumbaya and rainbows and flowers.
It won't be, because there's sharks in the fucking water, right?
It absolutely ain't all that.
There's sharks in the water. There's squid. There's shit that can kill you.
Yeah,
so you gotta be aware. But that's where awareness comes from, and vibrations. Because honestly, I don't even kill ants. I try my best not even to touch the earth's like things, because I didn't create those things to take them out.
Hey, yo,
you understand?
People yell at me. People yell at me when I'm like, yo,
you know how good my life has been going.
Just take them outside.
You know how good my life's been going, bro. Since I haven't killed one ant.
And I bet you they react to you different.
Nothing.
People may think you're bugging when you say that. Like,
I touch trees. I touch trees. I say thank you.
It's a different world right now.
I say thank you to trees all the time.
I'm gonna say that it's a different world right now.
Bro, try this. Next time you walk around in a park, say thank you to those trees.
Oof. Say thank you to your water, the fire, the elements.
Say thank you. And you're gonna see the different feeling you get when you go in that park. I love Lawrence so much. When I go to the parks, the river, I'm like, I love this shit. But it's because I'm saying thank you. Because look at all the things that we had to make and destroyed of their family. Right? Because literally trees are family. They're all connected. You know how many of those we had to fucking take apart for us to be in the studio right now? That shit, that's how deep it gets. And that's why people think I'm nuts.
It's all one.
You know what I mean?
It's all one. It's a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah.
Though. Like the soil, the trees, everything. And us, like everything is like feeding one another.
Each
right?
other.
So we feeding the trees, they feeding us. Like the soil, the soil is being fed, we being fed. Like, whatever goes in the soil comes out, right? You know what I'm saying?
So how did you become where you are now? Like, you're believing, you're manifesting. Like, how did you...
Perspective.
Exactly. How did you get to this journey you are now?
I was very, very, like, egotistical. I was very, like, in my own mind, like, looking at myself and, like, thinking higher of myself, but not being a higher version of myself. I was thinking I was higher than I was. I was projecting again, right? So... it took me like the situation I mentioned earlier, going to Denmark and having to fall on my face, flat on my face. It had to happen like 7 to 10 times. Right. I had to keep falling, because there were people in my life who I wasn't ready to hear the knowledge from. My queen, who's with me now, we had a relationship prior, but I wasn't prepared for her. I wasn't ready for her level of wisdom. So it took a little while for me to have her have my queen, throwing darts in my ear, and it go in one ear and out the other, because I wasn't prepared. And like when I was ready to sit down, slow myself down and say, look, like you're gonna either keep, going through the same cycle and never break it, and then like my children are gonna be just like me, and then their children will be just like them, or I change the pattern, you know. So I wanted to not only seek generational wealth. This is why a lot of changes happen, why I'm in Georgia now, why we're seeking land in Georgia, and why we're doing different things. Because like, you know, if I go to certain neighborhoods right now, I love my family, but I can go to certain blocks and I can go over there right now. My family's right there. You know what I'm saying? And I know exactly what they're doing. I know exactly what it is. That's no knock to like how people want to live their life. It's just more so that I did not want to be caught up in a cyclical, like, you know,
cycle
situation. Exactly. I didn't want to just be caught up in that. And so like, in order to break out of that, I always had to leave. Like, I just had to leave to be able to look back on my circumstance and be like, okay, I could come back with more clarity about where I'm from, more clarity about who I am. Exactly. You know, like I couldn't really see it from being in the midst of it.
Nah, I see that. I see that.
So it's like letting the love of your life go, so that, you know, if you really love somebody, you let them go. It's like that, you know, because the attachment we have to like the city over here and like just the people like that we grew up with and shit, like a lot of that shit can definitely deteriorate your character. But at the end of the day, it can definitely build you as a character if you look at it a different way. Because like a lot of my friends were smoking weed early, but I didn't smoke weed. I saw how I learned from that because I saw how they were doing it. I smoked after high school because I'm like, yo, I don't want my brain to fry right now. You know what I mean? I want to graduate. You know what I mean? So like I kind of learned that kind of shit like from people's mistakes early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same here. Like I used to rock with a lot of OGs, so I used to see what they used to do. And then when I started DJing and I started really getting heavy, I used to just pay attention to like getting out of here, because when you're in different cities and states, it's different. Like these people, it's a whole nother vibe. Like when they see you playing what they like, or like a DJ wise, I'm playing stuff from the South. I'm in the South. They're like, what? How you know this? They're like, wait a minute, hold on. Nah, this dude different. Where you from, New York? Nah, I'm from Lawrence, bro.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Exactly.
And they're like, wait, what's that?
Yeah.
And it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, that's a whole different situation. Like, it's crazy.
And I always like rep law, like wherever I go, but for some reason, wherever I'm at, like in the world, like people will be like, yo, Boston. They always say Boston, Boston, Boston. And that happens with a lot of artists. Like we have ties to Boston and we always show love. But if anybody ever looks, like I was on BT, I always said Lawrence. I was in XXL, I said Lawrence. Wherever I go, I say Lawrence. But like it doesn't matter. They're gonna tie you to Boston because that's the thing that they know.
It's like
but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Wherever I've been in the world, people know Lawrence.
Yeah,
like wherever I've been.
Yeah,
like
DR.
people know. Oh, I mean, yeah,
And
right.
DR, they're like, I'm like, yo, I live in Massachusetts. They're like, oh, Nueva York. I'm
Poto.
like, Massachusetts.
Nueva
They're like, Florida. No, bro. Fucking telling you where it is, Massachusetts. He's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, Lawrence. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, Boston.
Yep.
Boston.
Boston, Nueva York.
Por ahí.
Yeah.
That's funny, dog. That's funny, yo.
Oh, word.
Now, when I'm out there, I'm like, I'm from Lawrence, DR. What you talking about?
There it is.
Yo, but that's beautiful, man. Like to hear the journey and even how your perspective has been changing. It's big to let people know that that people have a perspective. A lot of people don't even realize that perspective's a thing. They think that, oh, this is what it is and that's what it has to be. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to put people in a box, but like just to give an example, like some people in religions or something that are stuck in this box and don't get to see a different perspective because they're only seeing a perspective from a book, or they're only seeing a perspective from this pastor, right? Because if you're not living your own life, you're living their life, right? And so that's, for me, it's like you cannot grow unless you start getting there, right? And I'm not saying stop looking to your religion or nothing. What I'm saying is start living it the way you need to live it instead of the way that people are telling you to live it, because not everyone's going to live it the same way. Not everyone's going to grow the same way.
Yeah.
You put water on me, I'm going to grow a lot different than he will. You know what I mean?
Well said. Well said.
The word of the day is evolution.
Evolution.
It's going to be right here. Evolution.
I love that.
Know what I mean? And while I'm pointing right here, do me a favor, Rex. You put your finger right here real quick. Fucking point right here and subscribe, you mother uckers. Thank you. Yep, subscribe right here. Yeah, subscribe this shit. Thank you.
I missed it for a second.
So yeah, man.
Where are
I'm
we?
enjoying this, yo. I'm enjoying this. Where are we, man?
I'm thankful
I'm
to be a
enjoying
part
this,
of
yo.
it.
I'm enjoying this.
For real.
So
Thank you for having me.
Let's dig into
Uh-oh.
since you are an artist, and I know a lot of people want to know. Everyone comes to the studio and sees your posters on the wall of where you've been and shit. And so like, I want to see if you can give some people some sauce on how or what they should be doing to get to places that are not just in Lawrence and in the USA. Like how do you get overseas, make these connections? What is the way that you can do this without hurting your fucking pockets, without diminishing your character? Because obviously I went overseas with you and your character was so big out there that I seen people crying because you were leaving. And to me it's like, wow, that's powerful because they were really listening to what the fuck you were saying in your raps. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And to me that's huge because I didn't start listening to raps like listening to the words for a long time. I just listened to the beats and like I was just with the vibe. You know what I mean? So can you just explain like what was your first step to get to where you wanted to get on that side?
Well, I think first and foremost it's got to be taken into perspective because like when I first started traveling, it was a whole different dynamic. It wasn't like this social media thing that like individuals have access to now. And so one thing I will say this, if you're older or younger, it really doesn't matter who you are. Like you can attain it if you can see it. If you can see it, right? So like the reality is I like to listen right now to a lot of the youth. I think the biggest thing about like individuals my age at 45, I'm 45, about to be 46, is that you can't look at somebody younger than you and respectfully just quiet your mouth down and listen to them because they got the jewelry. So like I'll be honest with you, like right now, I think they may have more game than I do about how to like, really like what's the template of how to get it. Yeah. And there's no wrong template. Just like when you're raising children, like you might want to look at somebody in a grocery store and tell them like, don't do that right there. Like that's not your business. First and foremost. Second of all, like the reality is like everybody got their own like way and approach, right? But the way it worked for me is like I was again coming up in the ciphers and I got down with a label and then I did the whole management thing. The first time I went out, I had a manager. Like my situation with my manager wasn't the best circumstance. Some people may have like a lot of luck with a manager. My manager was able to get me, shows overseas at the same time, like was digging in my pocket and taking a little bit out the pot. One for you, 1, 2, 3 for me.
That
one for
360.
You know what I'm saying? Like that whole situation, right? So like, I was blessed with circumstances that other individuals may not have, like with the label and
I get it.
And the management, and then I became my own manager. What I did is I went out to Europe. And I learned German,
Facts.
Yeah, you know that, right?
Yeah, no,
of course.
bro,
I know he knows because he seen me out there.
I told him the story of the time that
Wow.
the chef came out talking shit to me in Short Fuse. And you were like, what? Frats vernoegen?
Yeah.
Yo, that's wild.
So what I did is while I was out there, I was like, I don't really. My manager was coming on tour with us, and I was like, I don't really need you here because you ain't really like you ain't getting to the bag. You getting out of you getting in from the bag. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, getting in the bag, right? So I was like, I don't really need you here. I need to like figure out how to book these hotels and do all this other stuff. So I started building a lot of the locations I was going to. One of the main languages other than English was German. So I'm like, yo, I'ma just figure it out. Like I started building with a lot of the homies out there. Right now I have a German teacher. I meet with him. Shout out Sebastian Hoffman. That's my brother in Germany, Deutschland, and he holds me down. Like he studies with me on a regular basis. Keeps me sharp. Keeps me fresh.
Okay, that's
right?
dope, man.
But that's my guy. We did a trade-off. Like I'm blessing him with some music. He's blessing me with some lessons.
Heavy.
So like that's
Barter,
just what it is.
Barter's the old way.
Exactly.
Come on, son,
so that's
the
what
world.
we do. And he taught me. He taught me after I did my own thing with Duolingo. So I really went the Duolingo route, and it worked for me.
That's what's up.
And I can carry a good conversation. I can book joints. I book features. I do all that stuff in their native language. And German's a hard language, man. It is. It's not an easy language.
Yeah, it is, man.
I figured it made sense. But now the next step is to learn the language in this land that like I grew up in. I should have known Spanish from day one because my wife is Dominican.
I mean, you should.
My wife is Dominican, and I should know. I'm all right. I'm all right. I should be fluent though.
Yeah,
I should be fluent by now, and I'm definitely not.
You speak as good as I do, honestly. I don't speak that much Spanish either. Me tengo gatas en los pantalones.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? I said I like pancakes in the morning.
That's not what you said.
That's what I said.
Where are
I know
we?
Spanish, bro. So where are we?
Right.
So I wanna I don't want to take all your time because I know we could be here forever with you because you are like you're like the pinnacle of what men should be turning towards. You know what I mean?
But no, like not that. But I appreciate.
You know what I mean? From my city, like to see the transformation you're doing, I'm saying the pinnacle of like what we can be doing. Not, when I say pinnacle, I guess like there's like a limit.
I
mean like the top. I mean like the top.
What you're saying.
You know
what you mean to say.
like upper echelon of how we should carry ourselves. You know what I mean? Like I've witnessed the change in you and the people around you, and a lot of people are changed. This is the age of Aquarius. Everyone's gaining more like awareness of self, which is awesome. And everyone's seeking more information about how to be happier. Right? Which is awesome. It's like, yo, what do I do to become happy? Like, what do you do to become happy? Like, what gets you like out of a bad mood?
Always my children, my wife. Like we be bugging out laughing. Like we're both plant-based, so like, yo, when we get to eat something sweet, like that's like, yo, like some cinnamon, like vegan cinnamon rolls or something like that, and we get goofy, like, we just be laughing about nothing, like, and like my children to keep me like sharp on it, so I light up when it come to them. I light up when it comes to any energy that's like, obviously somebody's just like super genuine with it. Like from day one, like it's always been like that with certain energies. I felt that with you day one, early on in this environment. It's like that, and definitely from day one, from you coming around, you always had good energy, fam. And like there's a lot of people who have darkness around them, a dark cloud. Those individuals who. They'll call you and they'll unload and then they'll hang up the phone. My phone doesn't pick up for anybody like that no more. Like I don't pick up the phone for anybody who's just unloading and then like, yo, they're energy vampires. I don't let energy vampires exist around me. Yo. Like if you're gonna like be a bloodsucker or you're gonna take anything take from me and never give, like I'm protected by vipers. Stand back. Like we move a little different.
That's why I stay away.
Oh, but don't get it twisted. Like
but you need the energy to hit you.
I'm a Buddha. Right? I'm a Buddha with a rifle. Don't let's keep it 1,000. Like we buying a lot of land. Don't get us twisted.
Yeah, but what's your take on this?
Yeah.
Right? The energy that you don't want around you, but it's around you anyways.
Yeah.
Do you think it's necessary?
I think it's necessary
to be aware of how to move through it, right?
No, it's part of the process.
But to always dodge it, do you think that like
I'm not dodging it. I'm not being receptive to it.
He said it.
So
earlier.
like I'm saying, like if negative energy is around, like I know how to woosah and like move through that, like without it even affecting me. Like I used to have to like go to a place to meditate. Now I can meditate in the midst of us having this conversation.
Right now,
so like right now, like if the moment calls for it, then I can pause myself and check myself. And then get right. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's balance. It's like mind, body, and soul. Like so it's what you put in your body, it's what you put in your mind, it's what you put around your soul, right? So all that energy is reflective of who you are in existence. So I'm very mindful about that. But if negative, like the vibrations, it's necessary. Toxicity exists. Bacteria exists.
Yes, it
so
does.
Like there's acidic natures in a dog, right? Or any kind of animal. They have a stronger base for us, so they can take certain kind of food in their body, right?
Yep.
We can't put certain things in our body because our acid line ain't the same. Right? So like for me, like that stuff goes out into the soil, it returns into the air, right? It's all part of that vibrational cycle.
It just goes in and out.
It's gonna continue
He's not gonna allow it to
exist
stay.
a certain way.
Yeah, he can't.
And then when you do it the math, you have stasis, you have a moment of stillness, and then you have everything else, which is action, that's static. It moves, right? So when anything moves from 0 to 1, when it moves, that means automatically there's something existing that's gonna be toxicity and the other thing. Like, you know what I mean? Which is probably like you can have both, and people think of duality. They think of one versus the other, but it's not actually that. It's everything is everything.
Yeah.
It's all one, right? Like it doesn't. So that other environment coming around, I know it can be around, but if it's gonna like affect my mind, body, and soul, then I have to reflect it. I mean, I have to,
Deflect it.
deflect. Excuse me. Yeah.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Evolution,
Heavy.
baby. Evolution.
Evolution. That's the word.
So we have a segment on the show.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but it's called Sex, Drugs, and Other Things. Shout out Big Blizz, Big Blizz.
Why? Because I don't.
I don't know. We're talking about evolution. I guess.
It don't match.
Yeah.
Don't fit.
You know what? Let's do this. You pick which one he should answer. A truth about.
Uh-oh.
All right.
I'm an open book.
Yeah, okay,
Talk.
okay,
Like,
cool.
I'm not.
Nah,
we
why-
could
why-
talk.
why-
All I
gotta
want
throw
you
me
to
on
all
there?
I want you to do is pick
No, you
sex,
could
drugs,
talk
or,
him.
sex, drugs, or other things, right?
Yep.
You pick one, and I'm gonna ask him a question about one. So sex would be like
All right.
sex
let's go.
questions.
Yep.
Drugs would be like drug questions. Other things would be like, I don't know, maybe other things.
All right.
Did you understand that?
Yeah.
Rules? And if you lose,
I think so.
There's
but
no
like,
rules.
you
There's no
can,
rules.
like-
There's no
like,
rules.
I'm gonna just be honest.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
facts.
All right, go. Give him
I
one.
mean,
Give him one. Roll the dice in your head.
I'll say other things. Why not?
Okay, other things. Celtics lost, brother. How you feel about it? Let's talk about the Celtics. God
Uh-oh.
damn.
Uh-oh.
Let's
we're
talk
the
about it.
real example of the process, right?
Facts.
We really are. Like,
Facts.
you know, like Philly ain't the process. Our team is the process. It's built the way it was built. It's still
You
the
just
same
turned to
thing.
a news guy. Look real quick. Boom. I loved it.
Oh.
You want this? You want this?
Yo, because you know I'm a yo,
I know,
I'm a
I
Celtic
saw
guy.
you.
And by
But
the
you
way,
wanted
shout
this?
out-
That's
shout
why
out-
he did that. That's why he did that.
Again, my son. Shout out my son for like, you know, he got a blog. True Insight. Go follow that at True Insight.
True
Super
Insight.
ill.
I'll put it right here.
Super
True
ill
Insight.
does like super information on like, you know, basketball, like historical knowledge, real fire. But when it comes to our team, like, you know, I really think like we're not at a blow it up state, you know. We're not at a blow it up state. Like we really just have to trust the process. Look at the age of the individuals who have done exceptionally well
Yeah, they did really
at
well.
at their age, and people just tend to forget how young they are, like our superstars. So I think we're good. I think straight up and down, like Boston has the worst fans. I'm like, yo, the worst fans in existence, and I'll say that like in Boston. Inside the stadium, I say that in front of whoever's like podcast, like yo, Boston fans are the worst. Like when we're winning, like super on highs. When we're losing, super on lows. So like yo, just mad negative.
the new
No.
generation. It's always been like that. They always talk shit about Boston
Yo,
fans.
negative,
Nah, man.
super high negativity.
They
towards,
always talk
yo,
shit.
trade Tatum,
Listen.
trade this dude, trade this dude's terrible. The coach sucks. Yo, this guy's
Nah.
he
No,
doesn't.
he goes to the game.
Yo, listen, bro,
He goes to the
I
game.
I be watching the fans
I'm
like
gonna
react.
testify to all this.
Yo,
I used to live in Brighton, and I used to
Terrible.
avoid going to Fenway when Boston and New York would play because
Yo.
there would be cars flipped over, cars on fire,
Yo.
cars with broken
Yo.
window. Wild if you had New York plates.
Out of
Wild.
pocket, out of pocket.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And New York is extreme with it, but like, yo, it's not as extreme out there.
Nah,
Like,
nah,
yeah, people
it's
say
different.
that mostly comes from that mass holes mentality. Like, yo, it really does, yo.
holes, yeah.
It do. It really
real.
comes
It's a
from
real
that,
thing.
yo.
It's a real
Like, that's
thing.
a real thing. And like, you know, like,
Shout to Nabo.
I'm never gonna like, you know, salute that. Like, that's dope. Like, I never thought it was dope. I always thought it was ignorant.
Yeah.
Never mind, like, all the, like, you know, like, I'm not even talking about higher self. I'm just talking
Like
about,
before,
yo, like,
yeah, in general,
like,
he
yo,
said.
it's just trash. It always been
Like,
trash
that's
to act
wild.
like
Do
that.
you
yo.
think the Celtics are gonna stay together for the next season?
I do. I think at least one more season. I'm not saying I think well actually JB's up for the Super Max, right? So nah.
Who's this? Oh, Jaylen Brown. I didn't hear what you said.
JB, I said JB.
JB, my
yeah.
bad.
But I do give him credit because he's the only one that's actually done stuff for Boston. He has his own store up there, and he actually does stuff for the community and does a lot of good for us.
I also respect them for like, you know, calling out the Boston fans and talking about the racism in Boston, because like, yo, it's a fact. You know, I've been in the crowd, like I could speak to it. Like I be seeing people make posts, but I don't pay attention. Like I'm not gonna deep dive into people like talking nonsense like it doesn't exist. Boston's not completely racist, but like, yo, there's a lot of racism in Boston. So let's stop the nonsense. Like there's a lot of racism, but there's a lot of racism in America.
And
this is America,
yeah, everywhere. Because there's racism here, like there's racism everywhere. Trust me.
Facts.
And there's racism against.
And racism is the distraction, anyways. Like,
and let's be clear, when we say racism, it's not just one race against the other races. All races against all races, like
even race against race.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Nah, that ain't how it work. That ain't how
sometimes.
It work. That ain't how it work. No, that ain't how it work. You gotta have power.
I'm half Puerto Rican, half Dominican.
I don't care what it is, bro.
And they argue all the time.
What I'm saying is, no. Listen, like you can be prejudiced and then you can be racist, bro. So let's have if we're gonna have a conversation, let's have a conversation, all right? You can be prejudiced against people, or you could be racist. Racist, you have to have power over someone. You know what I'm saying? When you project your power on someone, then that's exhibiting racism. You feel me? If you're not showing power over somebody, if I'm not in a position of power, I can't be racist to you. I can drop knowledge on what you want. Like y'all drop like my man's like I could be prejudiced on anybody. I could drop a prejudice statement, but white supremacy is white supremacy. Yes, I say that to my white friends. Because the reality is the reality. White supremacy exists right now. Like, period. Like, there's no denying the fact. Anybody who wants to say this country wasn't built for white people, they're lying.
Shout to Miss Fowler.
You know what I'm saying? You straight lying. I got big respect for Miss Fowler, but like since we started Black Unity and then she took the award,
they don't even know what we're talking about.
I'm still upset about us not getting our award. And listen, that's a Black family. I know the Fowler family for real. They gave her.
Yo, see, they don't even know what we're talking about.
Where are we?
They gave her the award. And I'm not really tight about it. James Lawson is really tight about that, Miss Fowler. Still, like that's my brother. Like we speak about this all the time.
Do you know Miss Frizzle?
Huh?
Listen.
By the school bus?
Yeah, Miss Frizzle.
Come on.
She hit the Spencer school bus.
I know Miss Coggins.
Miss Coggins.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my biology teacher.
Oh, you put okay.
Anyway,
that was right. I know.
Yeah, we just had listen. It was a moment right there.
I like
don't
that.
think y'all understand.
we just segued real hard because it got said something that got us tight real quick.
But you know what?
It's cool.
The perspective is what I want people to gain here. You know what I mean? And like, even if I'm gaining perspective, you know, because I might act or do what people think I'm like, oh, he's peaceful, but I still have a lot of learning to do, and I'd rather do learning in front of people like this, right in front of everyone in the world, because I want to show them I live my truths. I don't know shit. I'm learning as I go.
We learn every day.
Yeah. So even if he gets riled up like that, he could say,
but
you know
like,
what I mean? I'm listening to the message. You know what I mean? That's what I'm learning to do.
I think you need to be a Buddha with a pistol, because sometimes you do gotta check people. Like sometimes you gotta be but you gotta really be about that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I never walked around Lawrence or any neighborhood with weapons. Let me chill. I didn't have guns. I didn't have guns.
Allegedly.
I didn't have any weapons. Yeah. So like, anyways, when you get to a certain age and you start to carry yourself a certain way, there are things, and especially the things that come out of my mouth, like the things that I have to say are real, and like in real time, like you can be a threat. You know, there's a lot of people who don't want to even speak up, and especially in the holistic community. Like, we can get into the holistic talk, and I think that's bigger than individuals talking about racism.
We come from a place, though, where we get told not to talk. So when we got the opportunity to talk, it becomes a problem.
Can I say something crazy that's happened to me today?
Yeah, go ahead.
It happened to me today. I'm in the car with my daughter, and I'm having a conversation with her, and something happened in school, and I'm trying to tell her, like, yo, baby girl, you have a voice, and if you don't speak up, no one's gonna hear you, not even daddy. I can't hear you unless you say something, and if you're not saying something, I don't know. So you guys bringing this up is very powerful because it starts with the kids. They have, everybody has a voice, and we need to all use it. Speak your truth, speak your mind. If it's something that's, you know what I mean, but also do it in a conscious way. Be
And
aware.
also know both sides though. Like you gotta take her shooting. Like you gotta take her like you like. I'm not saying that.
Damn, take her shooting.
Yeah, nah.
I can do that. I take her paintballing though. Sometimes.
Listen, if you're gonna tell her to use her voice, like you're living in a neighborhood. You're living in a neighborhood where, like, honestly, it's dog eat dog. Like so at the end of the day, I'm reflective of my truth and my higher nature. So if I say that to somebody who doesn't think I'm my higher version of myself and they think I'm base level, then like we might have something to talk about in another way that's not peaceful. So like I gotta know how to handle myself in that circumstance. And sometimes it's not litigation, it's not voice. You know what I'm saying? Because these common laws weren't prepared for me. I understand common law. I read Black's Law Dictionary. I would tell everybody to go get you a copy of the Black's Law Dictionary. Know your Constitution. But on top of that, know that you have the right to bear arms.
You do.
That's it.
You do.
Some of us.
Oh yeah.
Allegedly.
I mean, why is some things like I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Where are we?
It's funny where you're like, the asterisk, like where you put them. It's really funny. Allegedly.
What I want to say is, evolution is very important, and I want us to really understand that if we're not growing, try to find someone that is growing, because sometimes their roots will touch and it'll hit a light. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to go to the gym. Sometimes you don't want to eat right. Sometimes you don't want to read this book, but sometimes you're going to get something from that extra push. It's like doing that last push-up. And I can tell you, push-ups are... you know what's crazy? I love you, man. Thank you. You know what? Because push-ups, bro, that's where it started, my brother.
We was on it,
bro.
Like, I hope you're still on it. But like,
I'm not, but I'm pushing. I'm pushing up with this, though. You know what I mean? I'm pushing up with this.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my nephew Gage, like, you should really get with him because he's like a trainer and like also Believe dude.
Believe no. Oh, the tall dude is your nephew?
Gage.
Oh, okay.
That's Junie's for nephew.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So
damn,
anyways,
full circle.
So
bro.
like,
That's
you gotta
crazy.
be like, like, I can learn from my nephew. My nephew knows how to properly, be in a stance, how to hold the weights in a certain way. I didn't grow up knowing all that, and like I'm learning it from a 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? But he's ill with it. So if like we get older and our pride don't allow, I gotta go back to that because I think that's a lot of the law in the 50th year of hip hop. I think it's important for like some of our OGs to learn from the young ones. Like, and then when you put your pride aside and you listen,
drop
and
that
you
ego.
like you learn from those individuals. Then those individuals are gonna be more willing to listen because you listen. You know, like sometimes it takes you being a bigger person, even with your child or with somebody younger.
Right.
I listen to my children all the time because they got mad game that I just don't got.
Right.
Especially with this technology.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They always got it.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's I wanna. Do you have any last words, brother? I wanna thank you guys before, but go ahead, any last words?
I appreciate it, and thank y'all for having me. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give a shout out to Knight and his family. We love you. We got you if you need anything. Guy behind the wall, what's up? You want to say anything before we go?
No, man, I appreciate the stories and the life lessons you give us and everything you guys talked about, especially you and Erkel, man. It's dope to hear how you guys haven't been together, but now like you're reminiscing about the
Let's
stuff.
not go there because there's
like-
a whole nother podcast.
Like 30, at
30
least
plus,
30,
30
yeah,
plus.
30, at least 30
30
years.
plus,
Yeah,
30
at least 30 years.
You know, it's, I love it, man. I love you and I love everybody.
You already.
So
That's
sweet.
nothing.
You have any last words, brother? So to give to the world, to like sign off.
Yo, what's the name of this podcast?
Where are we, bro?
Where are we, yo? Like,
I
yo,
love
big
this
respect
guy.
for having me on. Where are we? I know the name was.
know,
I was like,
yeah.
nowhere. We're in the middle of like nowhere. It's really dope to see what you're doing. It's inspirational because my wife and I, we want to do this. And what I will say is, I want to just give you your flowers
Thank
for a
you,
second,
brother.
right?
Thank
Because
you.
like what I think you do all the time that I always acknowledge is like there's no like door or wall for you. You find
Right.
ways to like make it happen. And I think I look at everybody who is involved in this whole movement as inspiration for the neighborhood, and what y'all bringing is gonna add such high vibration for the city, man. I just see it in the people around. Like I just see how people move and operate, and the smiles that y'all bringing to the neighborhood. Big respect, yeah. For real, you my white
real.
brother. You a white knight. You are like, nah, I won't say white no more. Like, yeah, like yo,
Pale,
you're my
pale.
brother. You're my brother.
Light
and it's
skin?
big yo,
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Paper.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, so yo, big respect to you. Wait, are you Mexican?
and Irish.
Okay, all right.
I'll take your brother gold ASA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you won't say the other part because, it'll be crazy.
Yo, but big respect. I know that teed it off when I started
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to
it's all
him.
good, it's
Like
all
I
good.
really teed it off.
Yeah.
But like,
It's
yo,
all good.
big respect.
Yo,
Nah, you know it's crazy.
I
I told
salute
him
y'all
this.
for
I
this
told him
high
this.
energy.
I told him this a few weeks back, and he's like, "I don't see that." And he's like,
should.
"I don't see." And I'm like, "All right." So I had to hit him back, and I'm like, "You see how you see me? I don't see that." And he was like, "Okay, I get it. Damn."
But you need to see yourself that way.
Nah, I know.
Like you
I
need
know.
to
Listen,
recognize
this
your
brother-
glow.
This brother right here,
Yo.
this brother right here has helped me so much. Like a lot of people don't even understand. But like,
And I've only told you probably one thing. That's crazy.
listen, one thing is major.
No, but the one
One thing- that
the
one thing
the one thing I got is the
was
one thing I
super
got
major.
from
Yeah,
him. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
so-
All I'm doing is grabbing gems and passing them because I
I
don't.
mean, it
know what I
don't
mean?
belong. It don't
It
belong
don't
to
belong to
any
me.
of us. So like, yo, non-ego
Nah,
related. Like,
facts.
just recognize the jewel that you are, and like, yo, that you're
It's
higher level.
trust me. Listen, it's
Yo,
different.
shine
It's different.
bright like
it's
a
different. It's different. He knows it's different
But
right
yo,
now.
y'all ill.
It's different right now.
That's
bro.
real talk. That's real
Yeah.
talk. I love that y'all doing what y'all doing.
Yo,
Yeah,
we
it's different.
appreciate that, yo.
For real. I
Yo,
appreciate it.
from Nowhere Studios, we want to give a shout out to Pito for being in the studio. We got Yanti in the studio. He's gonna do some little some promotions for us today. Be prepared for what he's gonna do in the future. He's gonna have his own podcast soon, and we're gonna get it popping, Dominicano style.
Uh-oh.
Dembo
Dembo and all that playing in the background.
Yeah, it's, right now it's gonna start fading. I love y'all. Peace.